The story picks up right after the Daily Bugle exposes Peter Parker as Spider-Man to the entire world. To make things worse, Mysterio frames Peter for his own death and the devastating drone attack in London. Within minutes, Peter and MJ are surrounded by reporters, police, and angry crowds. They barely escape and make it back home, where Happy Hogan reveals that he and Aunt May have broken up. Before anyone can process it, officers from the Department of Damage Control storm the apartment. Peter is arrested for the London attack, while MJ, Ned, Happy, and May are all taken in for questioning. The investigation eventually clears Peter. The drones belong to Stark Industries, and there's no evidence against him, but the public doesn't care. People begin attacking Peter's home, forcing him and May to move into Happy's apartment. Things only get worse at Midtown High. Peter, MJ, and Ned can't even walk through the halls without being mobbed by students and reporters. Hoping for a fresh start, they all apply to MIT together. But because of the recent controversy, every one of them gets rejected. Peter blames himself. His friends are paying the price for something they never did. Desperate to fix it, he turns to the only person who might be able to help, Dr. Strange. At the Sanctum Sanctorum, Peter begs Strange to make the world forget he's Spider-Man. Strange refuses at first, explaining that reality-bending magic isn't meant to solve personal problems. But after hearing how Peter's friends lost their future because of him, he changes his mind. Instead of reversing time, Strange decides to cast a memory spell that will erase everyone's knowledge of Peter's secret identity. Wong immediately warns that the spell is extremely dangerous. Strange ignores the warning, confident he can control it. As the spell begins, Peter suddenly realizes he still wants MJ to remember, then Ned, then Aunt May, then Happy. Each interruption forces Strange to rewrite the spell in real time. Within seconds, the magic becomes completely unstable. Reality starts breaking apart. At the last possible moment, Strange barely manages to contain the spell, sealing the corrupted magic inside a mystical relic before it tears everything apart. Peter asks Dr. Strange if the spell worked. Strange tells him it never did. Because Peter kept changing the spell, it became too unstable to control. Strange had no choice but to stop it before something far worse happened. Peter apologizes, but Strange reminds him that none of this would have happened if he'd simply talked to MIT first, instead of asking someone to erase the world's memory. Peter freezes. "You mean I could have just called them?" Strange can't believe it either. He kicks Peter out of the sanctum, telling him to solve the problem the normal way. Peter immediately calls Flash Thompson, whose MIT application was accepted, and learns that the school's admissions director is on her way to the airport. Peter rushes there and catches up with her in traffic. He begs her to reconsider MJ and Ned's applications, explaining they're innocent and shouldn't be punished because of him. Before she can respond, a familiar face suddenly appears, Dr. Octopus. His mechanical tentacles tear through the highway, sending everyone into a panic. The admissions director's car is left hanging over the edge of the bridge. Peter quickly changes into Spider-Man and fights Doc Ock while trying to save innocent people at the same time. He manages to stop the falling car by webbing it to the bridge, but Doc Ock attacks again. During the fight, he tears off part of Peter's iron spider suit, causing its nanotechnology to merge with his mechanical arms. When Peter's mask comes off, Doc Ock is stunned. "This isn't my Peter Parker." Seconds later, Peter hacks into the nanotech now connected to the tentacles and takes complete control of them. Using Doc Ock's own arms against him, Peter saves the admissions director and defeats the villain. Impressed by his bravery, she promises to personally reconsider Peter, MJ, and Ned's MIT applications. Just as things finally seem to calm down, a pumpkin bomb lands nearby. The Green Goblin has arrived. Before another fight can begin, Dr. Strange teleports Peter and Doc Ock back to the Sanctum Sanctorum, trapping Octavius inside a magical prison. Strange finally explains what's happening. When Peter corrupted the spell, it tore open cracks in the multiverse. Now, people from other universes who know Peter Parker is Spider-Man are being pulled into this one. Peter is shocked. He thought Strange stopped the spell in time. Strange explains he contained the damage, but not before a few visitors slipped through. One of them is Dr. Kurt Connors, now transformed into the terrifying lizard. Strange believes even more villains are still out there, so he gives Peter a new mission: find every multiversal visitor and bring them in alive. Meanwhile, Strange will figure out how to send them home. Peter worries that if MIT sees him fighting monsters again, his friends will lose their second chance. So Strange enchants his web shooters. Now, anyone hit by the magical web will be instantly transported into one of the prison cells beneath the sanctum. Knowing this whole mess is his fault, Peter promises to fix it. He calls MJ and Ned to help. After arriving at the sanctum, Peter apologizes for dragging them into another disaster. MJ smiles and tells him she isn't angry. She just asks for one thing: the next time you make a decision that could put the entire world at risk, maybe ask us first. Peter realizes she's right. Peter, MJ, and Ned begin tracking the remaining multiversal visitors through social media. Ned discovers reports of a powerful creature causing chaos outside the city. Peter assumes it's the Green Goblin, but Dr. Octopus insists that's impossible. According to him, Norman Osborn died years ago. Ignoring the warning, Peter heads out. His Spider-Man suit is covered in paint and stains from the recent attacks, so when he can't clean it, he simply turns it inside out and wears it anyway. When he reaches the location, he finds Max Dillon, better known as Electro, absorbing electricity from nearby power lines. Electro attacks immediately, sending Peter flying. Before things get worse, Sandman suddenly steps in and saves him. Confused, Sandman asks what's going on. Peter explains that he's not the Spider-Man Sandman knows, but promises to explain everything later. For now, they need to stop Electro. Sandman traps Electro inside a massive sand tornado, while Peter cuts off the power grid, draining Electro's energy until he's finally subdued. Peter then captures both of them and sends them back to the magical prison beneath the sanctum. Inside, Electro recognizes Lizard immediately. The two came from the same universe. Electro explains that Dr. Kurt Connors was once a brilliant Oscorp scientist before transforming himself into the Lizard and trying to turn the entire city into creatures like him. Completely confused, the villains ask where they are. MJ casually answers, "A magical basement." Meanwhile, Norman Osborn is struggling to fight the Green Goblin personality inside his mind. Desperate to regain control, he destroys the Goblin mask and searches for help. That leads him to Aunt May's apartment. As soon as Peter hears, he rushes over. Norman is relieved to see Spider-Man, until he realizes this isn't the Peter Parker he knows. He explains that something inside him keeps taking over, and he no longer knows who he really is. May immediately realizes these villains aren't simply evil, they're broken. She asks Peter if all of them are suffering from something similar. Peter admits that every one of them was transformed by an accident or experiment. Still, he believes sending them back to their own universes is the only option. May disagrees. She reminds Peter that everyone deserves a second chance. Maybe they can still be saved. Her words stay with him. Peter brings Norman back to the Sanctum Sanctorum, where Dr. Octopus is shocked to see Osborn alive. According to his memories, Norman died years ago. Sandman then reveals something even more disturbing. Both Norman and Doc Ock were killed while fighting their own Spider-Man. Electro realizes the same fate awaits him. He remembers dying after absorbing too much electricity. Just then, Doctor Strange returns carrying a mysterious relic. Inside it is the corrupted spell that caused the multiversal chaos. He explains that activating the relic will reverse the spell and send every visitor back to their original universe. But Peter suddenly realizes the horrifying truth. Some of them will be sent back to the exact moment they died. Strange tells Peter that some of these villains are destined to die, and fate can't be changed. He activates the relic to send them all home, but Peter refuses to let that happen. He grabs the box and makes a run for it. Strange immediately chases him and knocks Peter's soul out of his body with a magical blast. For a moment, Peter is trapped in his astral form, but even then, Strange can't take the relic away. Peter's spider sense keeps his body moving on its own. He snaps back into his body and escapes. Strange drags him into the mirror dimension, twisting buildings and streets into impossible shapes to trap him. At first, Peter seems completely outmatched. Then he notices something. The entire dimension follows mathematical patterns. Using geometry to his advantage, Peter webs the structures together, trapping Strange inside his own dimension. He grabs the relic, steals Strange's sling ring, and escapes. Back at the Sanctum, Peter proudly hands the sling ring to Ned for safekeeping. Doc Ock asks the question everyone's thinking. If you knew we were supposed to die, why are you trying to save us? Peter finally reveals his plan. If he can cure them before sending them home, history might change. Maybe none of them will have to die fighting Spider-Man. With no better option, the villains agree. Peter leaves the relic with MJ and Ned. If anything goes wrong, they'll activate it immediately and send everyone back. MJ promises, but only if Peter gives the signal. Otherwise, she'll assume the worst and press the button herself. Peter then brings everyone to Happy Hogan's apartment, where Tony Stark's fabricator can create almost anything. He starts with Dr. Octopus. Working alongside Norman Osborn, Peter rebuilds the damaged inhibitor chip that once kept Doc Ock's mechanical arms under control. The moment it's installed, the voices disappear. For the first time in years, Otto Octavius is finally himself again. Grateful, Doc Ock returns the stolen nanotechnology to Peter's iron spider suit. Next, Peter builds a device designed to absorb all of Electro's energy and turn him back into an ordinary man. Everything seems to be working. Then Peter begins creating a cure for Norman. That's when everything falls apart. The Green Goblin personality suddenly takes control again. He convinces Electro that their powers aren't a curse, they're a gift. Electro destroys his own cure, absorbs even more electricity, and becomes stronger than ever. When Doc Ock tries to stop him, Electro blasts him across the room. Within seconds, he's draining power from the entire city. Meanwhile, the Green Goblin launches a brutal attack on Peter. Beating him mercilessly, he laughs. "Your kindness is your greatest weakness." Seeing Peter overwhelmed, Aunt May rushes in to help. The Goblin throws her aside with his glider before dropping a pumpkin bomb and escaping. Peter shields May from the explosion. At first, she insists she's fine. Peter blames himself, saying he should have listened to Strange and sent the villains home. May gently tells him he made the right choice. If he'd done that, they would have been sent back to die. Then she leaves Peter with one final lesson. With great power, there must also come great responsibility. Moments later, May collapses. Peter realizes she was critically injured during the attack. Before help can arrive, Aunt May dies in his arms. Police surround the building within minutes. Believing Spider-Man caused the destruction, they open fire. With no other choice, Peter escapes, completely devastated after losing Aunt May. Meanwhile, MJ and Ned hide out at Ned's grandmother's house. After watching the tragedy on the news and hearing nothing from Peter, MJ decides it's time to activate the relic. But before she can, Ned accidentally activates Dr. Strange's sling ring. He focuses on finding Peter, and a portal suddenly opens. A Spider-Man steps through. At first they think it's Peter, but they quickly realize this is a completely different Spider-Man. It's Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. To prove he's the real deal, MJ asks him to crawl on the ceiling. When he does, she finally believes him. Ned realizes he summoned the wrong Peter, so he opens another portal. This time, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man walks through. Both Spider-Men instantly recognize what's happening. The multiverse is real. They know this Peter must be going through the hardest moment of his life and decide to help him. MJ suddenly remembers something. Whenever Peter feels completely broken, he always goes to the rooftop of Midtown High. Sure enough, that's exactly where they find him. Peter is shattered by Aunt May's death. He says none of this would have happened if he'd just sent the villains home. Now he doesn't care anymore. He's ready to activate the relic and send every villain and both Spider-Men back to their own universes. If they die there, so be it. But Andrew's Spider-Man steps forward. He tells Peter about losing Gwen Stacy. He couldn't save the person he loved most. For a long time, he became angry and stopped being the hero she believed in. But eventually, he realized Gwen would have wanted him to keep helping people. Then Tobey's Spider-Man shares his own story. He once got revenge for Uncle Ben's death, but revenge didn't heal the pain. It only made things worse. That's why they don't give up on people. That's what Spider-Man does. Peter remembers Aunt May's final words and realizes she would have wanted him to finish what they started. Her sacrifice can't be meaningless. So instead of giving up, the three Spider-Men work together. Using Happy's tech, they quickly build cures for every remaining villain. Andrew suggests bringing all the villains to one place so they can cure them before sending them home. While getting ready, Tom's Peter reloads his web shooters. That completely surprises Tobey because his webs come naturally. Andrew and Tom are both shocked and more than a little confused. After a funny moment between the three Spider-Men, Peter reveals the plan. They'll lure every villain to the Statue of Liberty, where there are fewer civilians in danger. With Ned's magic portals, the three Spider-Men arrive first. Then Peter broadcasts a message to every villain. He admits everything is his fault. He says he could have killed them, but Aunt May taught him that everyone deserves a second chance. Finally, he tells them exactly where to find him. The trap is set, and now all the villains are heading straight toward the Statue of Liberty. The three Spider-Men wait at the Statue of Liberty, and while they're waiting, they finally get a chance to talk. Tom asks the others what the craziest villain they've ever fought was. They laugh and tell him he's already met most of them. Tom casually replies, "I fought an alien in space." That leaves both of them completely speechless. Before they can say anything else, their spider sense goes off. The villains have arrived. Electro appears first, now stronger than ever. He demands the relic, planning to destroy it before anyone can send them home. A massive battle erupts across the Statue of Liberty. Peter hands the relic to MJ and Ned for safekeeping, but Ned struggles to close the portal with Strange's sling ring. That mistake allows Sandman and Lizard to join the fight. At first, the three Spider-Men keep getting in each other's way. None of them has ever fought as part of a real team. Tom quickly takes charge. He tells them to stay focused, work together, and cure the villains one at a time. The plan finally clicks. Working together, they trap Sandman and inject him with the cure. Within seconds, Flint Marko returns to human form. Next, they go after Electro, but after absorbing even more power from the city's electrical grid, he's become far too strong. Meanwhile, Lizard notices the open portal and charges straight toward MJ and Ned. Tom breaks away to protect them, leaving Andrew and Tobey to face Electro alone. Just when they're about to be overwhelmed, Dr. Octopus joins the fight. Now completely cured, he chooses Peter's side. He restrains Electro long enough for the cure to work. Seconds later, Max Dillon is human again. At the same time, Tom cures Lizard, turning Dr. Kurt Connors back into himself. Meanwhile, Ned tries to hide the relic by opening another portal. Instead, he accidentally opens one straight to Doctor Strange. Strange finally escapes the mirror dimension. He immediately prepares to activate the relic and send everyone home. Ned stops him, explaining that Peter's plan is actually working. Seeing that most of the villains have already been cured, Strange agrees. He walks toward Peter, ready to finish the spell, but before he can, the Green Goblin returns. He attacks Strange and steals the relic. Doc Ock grabs him, and Strange manages to take it back, but it's already too late. The Goblin secretly planted a pumpkin bomb inside the relic. Boom! The relic explodes. The broken spell is unleashed once again. At that exact moment, MJ slips and falls from the Statue of Liberty. Tom dives after her, but the Green Goblin intercepts him before he can reach her. Without hesitation, Andrew's Spider-Man jumps after MJ. This time, he catches her safely. The moment hits him hard, reminding him of the day he couldn't save Gwen Stacy. Overcome with emotion, he quietly breaks down. Meanwhile, Strange struggles to contain the collapsing spell. Cracks begin tearing open across the sky, and countless beings from other universes start forcing their way into this reality. All of them connected by one thing. They know that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Meanwhile, Tom's Spider-Man goes after the Green Goblin with everything he's got. He destroys the Goblin's glider, sending both of them crashing to the ground. At the same time, Ned nearly falls from the Statue of Liberty, but Doctor Strange's cloak of levitation catches him just in time. Fueled by Aunt May's death, Peter completely loses control. He brutally beats the Green Goblin, then grabs the glider and prepares to finish him once and for all. But at the last second, Tobey's Spider-Man steps between them. He refuses to let Peter make the same mistake he once made. The Goblin takes advantage of the moment and stabs Tobey. Seeing this, Peter finally stops. Instead of killing Norman, he injects him with the cure. Moments later, the Green Goblin disappears. Norman Osborn is finally back, confused and filled with regret for everything he's done. Meanwhile, Doctor Strange is still struggling to hold the collapsing spell together. The cracks in the sky keep growing, and more people from across the multiverse are forcing their way into this universe. Strange admits he can't stop them anymore. Peter suddenly realizes the only solution. Everyone is coming because they know Peter Parker is Spider-Man. So if every person in every universe forgets who Peter Parker is, the spell will finally be complete. Strange warns him what that really means. Everyone, MJ, Ned, Happy, everyone who knows Peter, will forget he ever existed. Peter quietly accepts the sacrifice. Before it's too late, Strange tells him to say goodbye. Peter thanks the other two Spider-Men for everything they've done. Then he turns to MJ and Ned. He promises that even after they forget him, he'll find them again and somehow make things right. MJ begs him to find another way, but Peter knows there isn't one. He promises he'll come back and asks her to trust him one last time. Doctor Strange casts the spell. One by one, everyone returns to their own universe. The cracks in the sky disappear, and the multiverse is finally sealed. Sometime later, Peter visits MJ and Ned. Just as Strange warned, they don't recognize him anymore. For a brief moment, Peter considers telling MJ the truth, but when he notices the bandage on her forehead, he realizes she's finally safe. Instead of pulling her back into danger, he quietly walks away. Later, Peter visits Aunt May's grave, where Happy Hogan is also paying his respects. Happy remembers May, but he has no idea who Peter is. Finally, Peter starts over from nothing. He moves into a tiny apartment, studies for his GED, sews a brand new Spider-Man suit, and returns to protecting New York. The world still believes in Spider-Man, but no one remembers Peter Parker.